People always ask me, how can I maximize the returns that I'm getting on my property investments? And look, we have got properties where the agents have told us we can get $300 a week for, where we're getting $480 for exactly the same space that I was told I can get $300 a week for. I'm going to show you exactly what we did in this video. I'm also going to show you how you can maximize the value of your property by making some fantastic cosmetic changes inside the property, putting in some nice furniture, and basically making your property stand out, making your investment property stand out and get you much higher returns. Now, this is the strategy that most investors overlook, right? Most people will rent properties that look like this, right? An ordinary, right, looking room, which will rent for about $300, $350 a week. That's what the agent told me I could rent it for. Once we've transformed it into something that looks like this. Welcome to the most amazing apartment for rent in Mackay. As soon as you walk in, you can see there's been over $4,500 spent on making this an absolute luxury retreat for somebody that's gonna love watching this beautiful 55-inch TV. And there's your TV, a nice mirror on the wall, plenty of storage, you can see shelving. So this can be your new home. Right, we're getting $480 for the same space for just a few $1,000s in investment, right? You can get these things online. You can get, we've used companies such as Temple & Webster, for our cabinets, for our TV shelf cabinets. We've used, Harvey Norman for our TVs or Big W. We've used Officeworks for the office desks, right? So you can buy these things very, very cheaply, but it can make a huge difference for when you're reselling the property, right? Or you're renting the property out. This kind of investment pays back many, many times over because everybody else is out there and they're lazy and they're just renting properties that just look, honestly, like every other property. I'm not saying they're necessarily that terrible, but they don't make you feel like it's a homely space. If you make your property look homely, such as the ones that you can see in these photos I'm showing you here, then the tenant is going to be much happier living in them. And is that unfair to the tenant to be charging more money? No, because people want somewhere nice to live in. Ask yourself the question, what would you rather prefer to live in? In a kind of a basic motel room or a luxury hotel suite-like environment? Most people prefer a nicer hotel suite-like environment, and that's what we're going for in all our rooming and co-living houses, where we are furnishing them in a way that makes them far more appealing than 99% of the other offerings that are in the marketplace. We're not aiming for the bottom end of the market. With these types of properties, we're aiming for the top end of the marketplace. We've got this studio where, again, we were told we get about $400, $450, maybe $500 a week maximum. We're getting $650 a week for the same studio, and the tenants are absolutely delighted. Truly luxurious one-bedroom apartment. This is your bedroom, built-in robes with mirrors. You've got a nice little couch, velvet couch, dining table. You've got a 55-inch TV on the wall. Just sit here and relax. Oh, watch a nice movie, look at the sunset, have a glass of champagne, and just enjoy what is definitely the most luxuriously appointed one-bedroom apartment in Mackay. There's your bedroom, queen-size bed. Plenty of storage, as you can see. You've got under the TV wardrobe, shelves. You've got bedside tables. You've got a built-in robe. Plenty of space in the kitchen. You've got a dishwasher, and there's your bathroom. It was actually rented by a corporate client who want to put their staff into it, and they're willing to pay the premium. Now, in the same block, in the same type of environment where we're renting ours for $650, there is other identical properties in the same environment that are being rented, not done up as the way we've done them up. They're renting for $400 or $500 a week net to the owner's maximum. And that's because they're just ordinary rentals that are kind of tired, the furniture's not very attractive, and you can really transform these properties extremely cheaply, right? We've done that countless times, right? I'm showing you some examples here on the screens, right? The before and afters, right? These properties, you know, so there's one property in particular where I can come to mind that I bought it for $530,000 in March. It was actually on my birthday a couple of years ago, and I resold it 6 months later, literally, for $740,000. And all I did was made it much nicer inside, right? I just refurnished it, all cosmetic stuff, new flooring, added a couple of touches, and there it was, $200,000 plus more in a one bedroom unit that I actually sold on the Gold Coast. So these types of returns are possible if you're smart, if you know what you're doing. If you want to know more about how you can get some really high yield properties, or what you can do with your existing property to make it more attractive in the marketplace, give me a call. Let's have a talk about what's your situation, and hopefully I'll help you get the maximum rent and the maximum return of your property, and not in a way where the tenant feels like they're getting ripped off. It's the equivalent of driving a second-hand, beaten-up old jalopy car, or a beautiful brand new Mercedes, or a BMW, or a Rolls Royce, right? People are willing to pay for quality. So what you want to be is you have an affordable quality. We call them, you know, luxurious, right? Executive living type properties, right? We work with a couple of different companies in Brisbane and in Victoria. One of them, you know, in Brisbane especially, they have these amazing rooming houses, and they furnish them much nicer than everybody else, and they're getting premier rents on all of them, right? So we've been doing that with our properties for years, and those are types of people that we partner up with. In Victoria as well, we've partnered up with some fantastic people, and again, we can put this type of furniture into your properties, you know, if you actually get what I'm telling you here, and you can realize that this is the way to go into the future, where you're not competing with everybody else, but you're making your property stand out. So if you want to know more, give me a call, let's have a chat, and watch my other videos. I'll be putting these videos out regularly from now on, and giving you these tips, you know, on a pretty much a weekly basis. I want to make sure that you're kept up to date with what's going on in the marketplace, so that you can make the smartest investing decisions. And look, I've invested in over 28 properties in my life. I've been around, I've seen the markets go up and down, been flat for years, and I know the strategies that work. So because I'm doing the investments myself, I would never recommend the property or to do something that I haven't done myself in my own investments. So give me a call, and let's have a chat, and let's make this the best year of your investing life.